eyes widened as she watched them count the money. They whispered to each other in excitement. "They just gave us this money for being beautiful," Olivia whispered, her voice dripping with pride. "No touching, no stress, just good life." St. Stephen Secondary Girls Boarding School in Abuja was a place where rules were meant to be followed. But for Sophia and Olivia, rules was nothing more than suggestions. They were the hottest girls in school. They were bold, confident, and untouchable. While the other students obeyed the laws of the school, Sophia and Olivia had their own schedule. At night, while the entire school was asleep, they would sneak out, skillfully jumping the school fence to attend high-class parties in the city. The next morning, just before dawn, they would return the same way, slipping into their beds as if nothing had happened. Their beauty, wealth, and charm gave them an unshakable influence over students and even some of the teachers. Some girls envied them, some feared them, and many admired them. Sophia and Olivia were the undisputed queens of St. Stephen. Among the many students who admired them was a girl named Queen. Unlike Sophia and Olivia, Queen came from a poor background. She had earned her place at St. Stephen through a scholarship she won from her community. Her family could barely afford her basic needs, but she never let that stop her. Queen was not only beautiful, but she was also exceptionally intelligent. She spent most of her time in school reading and striving for excellence. Despite her humble background, Queen found herself drawn to Sophia and Olivia. She admired how they walked through the school hallways with confidence, how other students treated them like celebrities, and how they always had money to spend. Every day, she wished she could be like them. Queen wished she could be free from worries and financial struggles, like Olivia and Sophia. It was past midnight, and the entire hostel was silent, except for the occasional sounds of cricket outside. Queen laid on her bed, struggling to sleep. The dim moonlight crept through the window, casting soft shadows across the room. As she turned to the side, something caught her attention. Through the window, she saw the bright headlight of a car approaching the school fence. Queen became very curious. She quickly got up and peeped through the window. She saw two young men, who were well-dressed and good-looking, stepped out of the vehicle. A few seconds later, Olivia and Sophia emerged from the shadows, their faces glowing with excitement. The men placed gentle kisses on their foreheads before getting back into the car and driving away. Olivia and Sophia, with the ease of trained professionals, climbed the fence and sneaked back into the hostel as if nothing had happened. Queen quickly lay down on her bed, pretending to be asleep, but she kept her eyes slightly open and watching them closely. As soon as they were inside, Olivia and Sophia giggled like little girls. Their faces were filled with excitement. They reached into their handbags and pulled out thick bundles of freshly minted cash. Queen's eyes widened as she watched them count the money, whispering to each other in excitement. "They just gave us this money for being beautiful," Olivia whispered, her voice dripping with pride. "No touching, no stress, just good life." Sophia nodded, smiling as she snipped the minted notes. Queen clenched her blanket tightly. That amount of money, she had never seen it in her entire life. The little her mother sent to her was barely enough for school needs, and here were her schoolmates, living like queens, receiving money just for their beauty. That night, as Queen lay there on her bed, she couldn't sleep. She thought over what she had just seen over and over again. She had always dreamed of a life beyond her struggles, and for the first time, she wondered if she had been missing out on something bigger. Queen and Joyce had been best friends since their first year at St. Stephen. They did everything together, including reading and studying for exams. They shared dreams of a bright future together. While Queen admired Olivia and Sophia, Joyce despised them. Every time the two girls walked past, dressed in their skimpy school uniform, flaunting their wealth and carefree lifestyle, Joyce would shake her head in disapproval. They think they own this school just because they break all the rules and get away with it, she said. But Queen would always defend them. They are just enjoying life. What's wrong with that? Queen said in defense. Joyce sighed, knowing there was no way she could change Queen's mind. She could see that her friend was drawn to them She was fascinated by their world of wealth and influence. She only hoped Queen wouldn't get too close. One afternoon, Queen was in her class sitting alone and reading as usual. The classroom was quiet, with only the distant chatter of students in the corridors. Suddenly, a shadow loomed over her desk. She looked up and saw Sophia, standing before her, smiling. "I like you," Sophia said smoothly, flipping her long, perfectly styled hair. "You seem smart, and I think you will fit in with us." Queen's heart skipped a beat. She had dreamed of this moment, being accepted by the most popular girls in school, becoming one of them. "You can join our clique and become one of the happening girls in St. Stephen," Sophia said. Queen didn't even hesitate. I mean, that's what she has always wanted. She smiled, trying to hide her excitement. "Really?" Queen asked. She felt a rush of excitement. This was the life she had always admired, and now she was being invited into it without struggle or stress. The next day, Joyce followed her usual routine and went to Queen's hostel to call her for their reading section. She knocked on the door and waited, expecting Queen to grab her books as she always did. But when Queen finally came out, she didn't have her books with her. "Let's go," Joyce said with a smile. "I'm not reading today," Queen replied as she casually leaned against the door frame. "What do you mean you're not reading today? We always read together." "I just don't feel like reading today," Queen said, rolling her eyes. "What's going on with you?" "Nothing," Queen snapped. "I just have better things to do." Joyce sighed. She knew what was happening. Queen had finally gotten close to Olivia and Sophia. She shook her head and walked away. For the next few days, she kept trying, but each time, Queen brushed her off. Eventually, Joyce stopped looking for her. They stopped talking, stopped reading together, and the friendship they had built finally faded away. Queen became fully absorbed in her new life. She started moving with Sophia and Olivia. She began dressing like them, talking like them, and skipping classes just to hang out. One night, Sophia and Olivia took Queen out for the first time. They dressed in tight, revealing outfits, and Queen felt a strange mix of excitement and nervousness. They arrived at a luxurious hotel where wealthy men were waiting for them. Olivia and Sophia moved with ease, laughing and flirting with their sugar daddies, while Queen sat awkwardly in a corner, unsure of what to do. It wasn't long before an older man, addressed as Chief, noticed her and walked over to her. "Hey, you are very beautiful," he said, smiling as he poured himself a drink. "Thank you, sir," Queen replied. "Relax," he said, placing a hand on her laps. "You are a beautiful girl, and I like them beautiful." Queen simply forced a smile, feeling very uncomfortable. She had thought this was just about looking pretty and getting money, like Olivia and Sophia had made it seem. But as the night went on, Olivia and Sophia left, with their men retiring to their rooms. Chief invited Queen to his own room, and not wanting to appear rude, she followed. As soon as they were inside, he locked the door and turned to her. "Now, let's have fun," he said as he reached for her. "Please stop, sir. I can't do this. This is not why I'm here." Chief's expression darkened. "What do you mean you can't and this is not why you're here?" I thought this was just about company," she stammered. But Chief skunked. "So you are one of those local girls who think they can eat for free?" He picked up his phone and dialed a number. "Sophia, this your friend is wasting my time. Bring me someone that knows how to play the game next time, and not some local hen." The chief stormed out of the room really angry and pissed off. When they got to their hostel the next day, Olivia and Sophia were really angry with Queen. "What was that you did last night?" Olivia snapped. I didn't know it was like this," Queen stunted. Sophia crossed her hands. "What do you think it was? That men just dash you money for nothing?" "But that's what you said. You said they just give you money without asking for anything," she argued. Olivia rolled her eyes. "Of course we didn't tell you everything at once. We had to be sure you were ready. Look, you can't be messing things up for us. These men trust us. If you embarrass them, we all suffer. Stop acting like a child and just do what needs to be done," Sophia said. "I'm sorry. I promise to do better next time," Queen whispered. "You better do," Olivia said angrily. The next night, Olivia and Sophia were excited as usual. A group of wealthy senators were hosting an exclusive party, and they had managed to secure an invitation. This is a big one. Olivia and Sophia whispered excitedly, slipping into their tight, expensive-looking outfits. These men are the real deal. They don't just give naira, they give dollars. Though Queen was still shaking from the previous night's incident with Chief, she forced herself to nod. She needed the money. She had already come this far. Maybe tonight would be different. Maybe it would be as easy as Olivia and Sophia had always made it to seem. She thought to herself. When they arrived at the party, which was held in a grand hotel suite, with expensive drinks, loud music, and a luxurious setting, the senators were older, powerful men, dressed in designer suits and agbada, speaking in hushed, confident tones. As soon as they saw the girls, they welcomed them warmly. Fresh angels. One of them laughed, his eyes scanning them like a prized possession. The night moved quickly, and the men kept their promises, flashing bundles of crisp dollar bills, and Olivia and Sophia giggled with excitement. Queen, though still hesitant, went along with it. One of the senators, a well-dressed man with a gold wristwatch, took an interest in her. He approached her and showered her with some sweet words that washed Queen off her feet. They ate, drank, and he made her to dance with him until they retired to the bed together. There on the bed, he handed her a drink. Relax, he said. Enjoy yourself, my angel. The night is gonna be a long one for us. Just the two of us. Queen hesitated for a moment, but then took a sip because she didn't want to disappoint her friends again. The drink was sweet, but as she took another sip, her eyelids suddenly became heavy. The room blurred. She felt her body go numb. The last thing she saw was the senator smiling at her before everything faded into darkness. The next morning, when Queen finally woke up, something felt off. It wasn't the usual early morning wake-up routine where they sneaked back before dawn. The sun was already up. Panic gripped her chest. She quickly sat up, looking around, but the room was empty. The senator was gone. She crumpled to her feet, her head pounding, and rushed to the adjoining room where Olivia and Sophia had been lodged. She flung the door open, expecting to see her friends laughing about the money they had made. But instead, what she saw made her blood flow. Olivia and Sophia lay lifeless on the bed, their bodies mutilated. Their vital organs were missing. Their blood soaked the white sheets, and the air in the room was thick with the metallic scent of death. Queen let out a piercing scream as her mind struggled to comprehend what she had seen. The men were nowhere to be found. Everything in the room, the money, clothes, drinks, were left untouched, except for the lifeless bodies of her friends. Queen fell to her knees, trembling. The truth hit her like a thunderbolt. They had been used. The men were never interested in giving them money for fun. They had been predators all along, waiting for the right moment to strike. Tears streamed down Queen's face as she covered her mouth, her body shaking violently. She had wanted to be like Olivia and Sophia, the happening girls of St. Stephen, and now they were gone, slaughtered like animals. Queen's scream echoed through the hotel halls, drawing the attention of the staff and guests. Within minutes, people rushed into the room, gasping in horror at the gruesome sight before them. Some screamed, others whispered prayers, and a few took out their phones to capture the chilling scene. The police were called, but by the time they arrived, the senators were long gone. They vanished without a trace. The news of the girls spread like wildfire. 2 girls murdered in a ritual killing at a luxury hotel in Abuja. The headlines screamed. Social media was flooded with the pictures of Olivia and Sophia last moment. Videos of them dancing at the party, laughing and holding bundles of cash. And then the next morning, their lifeless bodies on a blood-soaked bed. Investigations revealed that the men had drugged their drinks with a mysterious powder before carrying out their sinful act. But Queen, she was the only one who survived. Rumors spread about why she was spared. Some said she had been lucky. Others said she was smarter than the rest. But Queen had been on her menstrual cycle. The senator who had chosen her couldn't touch her because according to his ritual, menstrual blood will ruin his charm. That was the only reason she was alive. At St. Stephen, Queen was not treated with sympathy. The school authorities were furious. The scandal had stained the school's reputation. They saw her as a disgrace, a bad influence, someone who had brought shame upon them. She was expelled immediately. Alone and broken, Queen returned home, haunted by the memories of her friends' screams and the price they had paid for their reckless choices. But Queen refused to let their deaths be in vain. She made a vow to herself. She would make sure no other girl fell into the same trap. Years later, Queen became an advocate. She traveled across schools and community, speaking to young girls about the dangers of fast money and the dark reality behind the glamorous lifestyle many envied. She shared her story, using her pain as a warning. She also wrote a book on girls' purity and abstinence, which she dedicated to Olivia and Sophia, the two friends she had lost to a cruel world. Queen was no longer the naive girl who envied the big girls of St. Stephen. She had learned the hard way that not all that glitters is gold. And through her voice, many girls listened. They changed their path and chose a life of dignity over destruction. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think of this story in the comment section. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification button for more amazing stories. Until I bring another amazing story your way, bye!